movies, and you as Drax, it's incredible casting.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's just a great performance. It must have been fun to do, but I imagine slightly nightmarish getting into that makeup every day. How long
that was from the first film, and yeah, it was a nightmare because it took like 4 to 6 hours. Wow. Then on the second film,
every day.
Every day I worked, yeah. On the second film, it's like an hour and a half.
Did you take it off in the evenings? Because I think if I was having 4 to 6 hours of makeup in the morning, I would just sleep in it.
They've attempted that, and it doesn't work quite well because they actually have to touch it up so much that you might as well do the whole process.
Hey, but here's the thing about Drax is, I hear you might not do the third movie.
What?
There's a controversy around the director and Disney, and you said you might not do it.
Well, yeah, there's a bit of an issue. It's a bittersweet conversation. No, it's a bitter conversation because I'm not really happy with what they've done with James Gunn. They're putting the movie off. It's on hold indefinitely, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I want to work for Disney.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. I don't want to be here if he gets upset, so I should just change the subject. So I don't know what. I do not want to see that man pissed off. So.
And I've been very vocal about the way I feel, and I'm not afraid to admit the way I feel.
Well, that's quite unusual in Hollywood. That's quite unusual.
I don't think I'm your typical Hollywood guy. Yeah.
Really? Cause I. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. Good for you, man.
That's the way I feel.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka The Clock Master. So you guys just saw the video, Dave Bautista's interview on Jonathan Ross' show. Now we're going to be talking about the subject. Is Dave Bautista going too far when it comes to the whole James Gunn firing scenario? If you guys are new to the channel, man, make sure to subscribe if you like what you see. Go through the channel, see anything else you like. If you like it, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to share my thoughts and my opinions on this. I haven't spoken too much about the whole James Gunn and Dave Bautista. I've only made one video concerning James Gunn. I believe if not, I probably made a second video, but I'm pretty sure I only just made one. I didn't really talk too much about the whole Dave Bautista thing, but I figured after hearing everything and what's been going on, I figure I should just share some of my thoughts and my opinions on the scenario. I don't want to keep this video too long. Now, if you guys haven't heard the whole thing, James Gunn being called in for a meeting with Marvel and Disney and Kevin Feige wasn't there, which is kind of suspicious. Why they decided to hold the meeting while Kevin Feige wasn't there? Because Kevin Feige is actually reported to be on the side of James Gunn, but he was out of town when they held the meeting, so that was just one thing. And they had the meeting with him, and they decided that he was not going to return to film and direct Guardians of the Galaxy #3. Now, Dave Bautista has been very vocal. If out of all the Guardians cast and all the other actors that have shown their support for James Gunn, Dave Bautista has been the most vocal about it and has expressed, he expressed his major concern for the way how Disney handled the James Gunn scenario and the way how they decided to fire him and not give him a chance and not let him finish the film. And he's been threatening to leave the company, to leave the movie. He's not going to be Drax in the third film. All kinds of crazy stuff has been going on. Now, I come across some people saying that, you know what, Dave Bautista should just leave it alone. Like, he should just leave it alone and go about his business, finish out his contract, do his film, because there's, some people are saying that James Gunn it wouldn't stand up for him the same way that he's standing up for James Gunn. Now, it raises up an interesting thought, because it's like, you know what? If the roles were switched and James Gunn, was still the director for Guardians 3, and Dave Bautista was fired for similar reasons. Let's say he was fired for similar reasons, right? Would James Gunn actually step up to the plate and be like, you know what? I'm not directing this film unless you bring Dave Bautista back. I'm not going to write anything else for this film. I'm not going to do anything if you don't bring Dave Bautista back. Would James Gunn do that for you? That's actually something you got to think about. Would he do the same thing? Because look, James Gunn's a director for Disney. Well, was a director for Disney. Had a contract with Disney. They breached the contract, so of course, and I'm going to get into whole details with the contract and how that stuff works, because it's not that simple to say you're going to leave a film, especially when you're contractually obliged to do something. So I'm going to get into the whole contract issue. But James Gunn was, had a contract with Disney, had a contract with these films, getting a good set of money for doing what he has to do. Would he leave his position? Would he say, I'm not filming for an actor? Would he do that? You know what I'm saying? So people are saying that Dave Bautista should just stick, make his money, do what he got to do, finish out his contract, get his money, and just continue on with his life and just do what he got to do. and not start war with Disney. Now, as you saw in the interview, Bautista also said that he's very vocal about that. He's not your traditional Hollywood actor or whatever. Most people in Hollywood would stay silent about this, and you know, and that's the issue too with Hollywood. A lot of people sell out just to make sure they get a paycheck at the end of the day, and understandably so. Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do to make sure you get that money to take care of yourself and your family. Sometimes, especially in Hollywood, because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that selling out is the right way to go and that is the only option to survive, because you got to be true to yourself. And I do respect Bautista for being true to himself and not selling out that easy and not keeping his opinions to himself. I do respect him for that. But there's sometimes you just got to let things go. But you know, James Gunn even said this. He said, look, guys, I'm fired. That's it. It's what it is. Don't make this into a whole Zack Snyder cut thing. And he made a joke about it. He's like, just don't make this into a whole Snyder cut thing. You know, just let it go. Let it be. Let it go. Let it be. Now, the whole contract thing, before I share just what I think is the approach at all this, the contract thing. When you're signing a contract for most films and TV shows, there's a lot of things that has to be in that contract. Things like compensation, things like travel expenses, things like what else? Food, you know, the time that you're going to come in to do the filming, and when you're expected to end, and reshooting your contract. And then sometimes they have penalties that are also woven into that contract as well, for if you were late for showing up for a rehearsal or late for showing up to an event that you were signed to show up to, like a press tour or something like that. So easily, if Bautista decides that, you know what, I don't want to do Guardians 3 right now, as he said in the video, it's on hold right now. They don't have any plans right now to continue production of the film. It's on hold right now for various reasons. But if Dave Bautista said, you know what, I'm leaving, I don't want anything to do with this, he can get incredibly sued from Disney for breaching his contract. Now, I don't know the details of his Guardians 3 contract, so I don't know if there's any penalties for that. But in general, if you breach a contract, especially, you know, he said he had a contract for Guardians 3. He still has a contract to do some reshoots for Avengers 4 coming up within the next month or so, I believe. So he still has those things that he has to do regardless of his personal feelings. He has signed a contract with his attorneys and with Disney's attorneys, signed a contract, and he is obliged to that. He has to complete them. Now, if he goes against it, like anything else, if you go against your contract, there are penalties that you will face for that. There are things that you will face and consequences that you will face for breaching a penalty. Now, getting sued and all that, is it worth everything that you're doing for James Gunn and all that stuff? The whole stir that you're causing, is it worth it? Getting potentially sued, getting a whole bunch of fines and stuff penalized against your name because you want to, you know, is it worth that? Is it worth throwing your entire career down the drain? Now, here's my personal opinion. As I said earlier, I don't think that selling out is the way to go. I personally believe that if I was in Hollywood, I would be faced with some very hard decisions. Like, you know, do I sell my soul? Do I sell who I am simply because I want to make money? Do I deny who I am and the person that makes me who I am and what I stand up for? Do I deny that just so that I can make some money? Or do I hide all of that just so I can make some money? You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, not hide. I actually just said it. Do I actually not, you know, do I actually stay who I am and who I believe I am and not make any money? You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm an incredibly honest guy, and it'd be very hard for me personally to see something that I'm completely against and stay silent about it. So that's, like I said, for that I do commend Bautista for standing his ground and speaking out about what he believes in. However, I do believe all personal things aside, that he should stick to his contract and at least finish out the movie regardless of that, because if I were him, I would try to avoid as many issues as I could. You know, Bautista, I'm pretty sure he's gonna retire right now. I'm pretty sure he doesn't need to act anymore to stay relevant. I'm pretty sure he's made some good money, especially from his wrestling days and from, you know, the few films that he's done for Disney already. I'm pretty sure he made some decent money for that alone. So I'm pretty sure he can retire if he wanted to, or decide not to go down the acting route anymore, because this definitely could hurt his his relationship with any, not just with Disney, but with any other film company, production company. It definitely could, because you don't know what type of connections people have and what type of influence these people have on your career. You just don't know the behind the scenes of it. So I would just say, not out of fear, but just out of respect for the contract that you signed, and not worried about getting sued and all that, to finish the film that you signed to do. Finish the film, do what you got to do, finish it. You already signed a contract, do your 2 reshoots, finish the film if they do continue to do the film because you signed for it. Finish it. And that's it. If you want to leave Disney after that and you have nothing else that you're contractually, obliged to do, then you can leave. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like Chris Evans and them, they finish it. Their contracts are coming up to a conclusion, and some of them are thinking of leaving Disney or to pursue other careers, to pursue other things in their career, to do other types of business opportunities or whatever. Once you finish your contract, they have no reason to hold you down legally. At least. So anyways, that's just my thoughts and my opinions on the scenario, man. If you guys want to add more to that in the comment section, please feel free to do so. I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say about the scenario. Do you think Bautista is overdoing it? Do you think he is standing up for James Gunn too much, or do you think he's doing the right thing by standing up for James Gunn? You let me know your thoughts and opinion. Like I said, I do respect that he's standing up for what he believes in. However, I do believe that he should just finish the film, do what he got to do, and then we'll figure that out from there. Anyways, man, that's it for me, man. Clock Master.